I'm joined by the Assistant Trade and Manufacturing Minister Tim Ayres. Thanks very much for your time joining us from Sydney. We've got to talk to you about some manufacturing announcement you made today in relation to rail procurement, but I do want to ask you about this show of solidarity for the Jewish community. Crucial that government not only show up but also legislate where needed to stop the sort of hate speech we're seeing across the community.
Well, it's vital, and I'm delighted that the Deputy Prime Minister was at that school today to show solidarity, to send the strongest possible leadership message that acts of anti-Semitism are intolerable, they're un-Australian, and in this case, they hurt little kids, kids who are just trying to go to school. And also critically, Kieran, to listen to the experience of kids. The Deputy Prime Minister went and spoke to an assembly of the pupils there. I think that's exactly the right thing to do. The government, as you say, is considering next steps in terms of legislation, and those portfolio ministers can say more about the detail of that later in the week.
Yeah, indeed, and Parliament does return tomorrow. This likely to feature in a big way the broader issue of hate speech, but the rise of anti-Semitism in the wake of that conflict in the Middle East. There are a lot of people in Australia with a lot at stake here, with families on both sides of the conflict, but it should not be allowed in any way to show up in the sort of hatred we're seeing.
I thought Mr Marles was dead right earlier in your program when he said, we have to have the capacity in Australia to not just make the argument, but also to stand in the shoes of the other side of the argument, to have a sophisticated, civilised, dare I say it, a debate that's in keeping with our traditions of democracy, but also a debate. One of the focuses of the Albanese government here has been a focus on social harmony in Australia and social cohesiveness, because that's what's in the national interest. And I think as you've seen, the government's watching this very carefully and taking action in every way to try and promote social harmony and social cohesion in our suburbs and in our towns.
One of the big focuses in the budget was the Made in Australia, a Future Made in Australia initiative. Today, you're there as the Assistant Manufacturing Minister on a procurement pipeline, a rolling stock pipeline. What is all this about? How does that assist manufacturers? Is it about giving them visibility of what the government, what investment's being made?
Well, that's exactly right. I'm here at Norbrens in the heart of in Granville, in the heart of Sydney's west. It is a factory that employs nearly 300 engineers, tradespeople in particular, in the rail procurement pipeline. We saw what happened in New South Wales when the previous O'Farrell and Berejiklian governments offshored billions of dollars worth of rail contracts. That meant thousands of jobs were lost. Hundreds and hundreds of school leavers were denied apprenticeships, and the trains are late, over budget, with significant quality issues. The Albanese government's National Rail Manufacturing Plan is all about making sure we've got a consistent approach, and this procurement pipeline means that it enhances the premium for all of the states to work together in concert with the federal government, so that major tenderers and small and medium enterprises in the manufacturing supply chain can see the work there and can make investment decisions on that basis, rather than just on an ad hoc basis. Now, this is the hard work that we're doing here, Kieran. It's detailed work. It's not front page work, but what it means is good blue collar jobs and engineering jobs in our outer suburbs and in our regions.
Yeah, well, as I said, it was a big part of the budget, that idea, that vision of a manufacturing, but a future built in Australia. Assistant Trade Minister Tim Ayres, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kieran. I'm in Granville in the heart of the West, so we're here for manufacturing, and I'm pleased to say here for the Lebanese chicken at Al Jannah in Granville. Took the team out there today. Best Lebanese barbecue chicken in Sydney. Absolutely terrific.
Yeah, it certainly is. Enjoy it.